Hey everyone, it's Karen with Yes Please PaperCrafts, and in this video I'm going to be creating a scrapbook layout for the scrapart-blogspot.com sketch challenge for the month of July. And this is the sketch that I'm going to be using, and I will try to put a copy of the sketch somewhere on the screen once I start working on the layout so that you can follow along. Now, if you would like to participate in this challenge, I will leave a link in the description below to the Scrapart website, and you can just click on that link and go there and find all the information that you need to join in. Okay, so in addition to using the sketch for this challenge, you also need to use a pattern paper, a star pattern paper, and star embellishments on your layout. Okay, and so I think I'm going to try to follow this sketch pretty closely, but I guess we'll have to wait and see once I get into creating the layout if I manage to do that or not. But I think we use sketches as inspiration, and so you don't always have to follow everything on the sketch. So for instance, if you didn't want your title down here, if for some reason it worked better to have it up here, you know, it's okay to move things around. So I think it's awesome that with this particular sketch challenge for Scrapart they don't really require that you follow the sketch exactly. The sketch is intended to be used as inspiration. So this is the picture that I'm going to use for this layout. This is a picture of my dog Bella and my friend Debbie's dog. Her name is Mariah. And Mariah stayed with us for about a week last year when Debbie had went on vacation. And it was the first time that Mariah had been away from home. And it was kind of funny. I have two dogs, Bella and Lilybell. And if you've watched my videos before, you've probably seen them in the videos. But they were so confused that we had this dog that came over and just stayed with us. And they just would look at me and I could just almost hear the questions that they had. Like, is this a person or a dog that's going to be staying with us forever? When is this dog going to go home? And Mariah's like, I wonder where my mom is. I can't believe she dropped me off at this strange person's house. So I just thought it was really cute, some of the pictures that I got of the dogs. And so I'm going to do this one. And I found a really cute quote in one of the paper pads that I have here that I'm going to use on this layout. So this is the picture I'm going to use. Now I do have to use a star pattern paper. And so the first thing that I thought of when I saw that was this paper pad that I got recently. I think I picked this up maybe in January or February this year at Tuesday mornings. And it even has a date of 3/20, so it must have been maybe the beginning of March. Might have been right around March. Okay, I know it was before the whole thing with the pandemic, but so I picked up this paper pad. And the paper that I'm going to use is this paper right here that has the yellow and it's got metallic like full stars on it. And it is such a cute paper. And so I'm going to use this paper right here. Isn't that cute? So in addition to using this paper, which is from the Pebbles Big Top Dreams, that's the paper pad, I'm going to pull in some papers from this other paper pad. This one is called Playful Pets, and it's from DCWV. I also picked this one up at Tuesday mornings, and I've used it before on a layout, and this is one of the cutest collections for your pets. It has different things for both cats and dogs, and I'm going to pull in a paper here. It's a plaid. See if I can find that paper real quick. I'm going to pull this paper in right here. And I just love the combination of these two papers together. I just think that's beautiful. And so I'm going to use that. And then for my background, I kind of wanted something that was simple, but I wanted it to have a little bit of a pattern. And so I found this paper. This is from the Now and Then collection from My Mind's Eye. It's a really old paper, but I like that it has a kind of a distressed look to it. And it looks like writing paper, the kind that you used to use when you were in elementary school. And so it has all these little lines. But I think that the pattern is very subtle. And so I think it's going to make a really good background. Okay, so that's going to be my papers. Now, one of the things that I thought about when I was looking at this picture of my dog, I was trying to figure out what title I was going to use. And I came across this little cut apart, and it says, "Are you for real?" And so I thought that was really cute because when Mariah first got here, my dogs kept looking up at me with this questioning look like, what's going on? Why is this other dog here? And then Mariah would look at me like, well, you know, where's my mom? You know, am I going to go home anytime soon? So they had all these questions. I thought that this little saying that says, "Are you for real?" It just kind of fits this layout, and it kind of adds to the story of this particular, you know, time when I took this picture. Now, I don't know that this is going to be my title, but I just thought that was super cute, so I'm going to use this on my layout. All right, so I have that one. I also have some other ones here. This is another die pack. This is the one that you can purchase. This is the Ephemera. So I have that one as well. And I have some stickers and other things to go on here too. Okay, so I think I have a pretty good plan of what to do with this sketch. And y'all know I can't talk and scrap at the same time, so I'm going to stop talking and start scrapping. I will do a speed this up and do a voiceover and talk you through my process. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to start by figuring out which papers I'm going to use for which part of the sketch. And I did put a little picture of the sketch up there on the left-hand top corner of the screen so that y'all can kind of look at that as I'm working on this layout. I am going to trim this photo down, and the photo is a 4x4, and that was kind of what was required by the sketch. I am going to follow the sketch and actually use a photo that's the right size this time, which should make this layout a lot easier than my layouts normally go, because I usually try to make it difficult on myself and try to use pictures that are not the right size. And so for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and use that 4x4 picture. So I'm looking for an additional paper to use because I needed to have 2 layers behind the photo, and I needed a third paper to use as the banner that was going to go behind the photo. I'm also going to be matting my picture with some off-white cardstock. I thought that this would work much better than white just because the papers in that collection had kind of off-white color in the background. I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers layering guides to mat my photo, and I didn't really want a large mat, so I went with the 1/16 inch layering guide, which is going to create a 1/16 inch mat around the picture. So I probably should have used my layering guides to create the mats behind my picture, but I was thinking with the plaid paper, because it had a pattern, that I could just cut it with the trimmer. And what I didn't really think about was that there was a lot of variation in the colors, and I wanted to have both the yellow and green behind my picture. And when I cut the first piece, it didn't really show much of the yellow. It just really showed mostly green. So I ended up having to cut another piece of paper. And if I would have just put the picture onto the paper where I wanted it to be, I could have just cut around it with my layering guides, but I didn't do that. And I think partly too, it was because when I mat that picture with the plaid paper, it's going to be tilted at an angle. And so I guess that's another reason why I kind of thought, well, I'm not going to use the layering guides for that part of it. Okay, so I'm also going to trim this paper down. This is going to be the banner, and I believe I trimmed this to 3x9. And I just thought that that looked like a good size for the sketch, and I thought that was going to work out really well. Okay, so I brought in my background paper, and once I looked at this, I thought it looked a little plain, and I decided that I would mat my background. And so I'm looking through this paper pad for another pattern paper that I could use, and I'm going to try out several different ones here, just looking for something that I think might go. And I really did like the stripe, but I thought maybe it wasn't enough of a contrast with the background. And so I decided to keep looking, and I looked through this other paper pad just to kind of see what papers might work. I do like doing this. I think it's fun to just try out different papers, and I love playing with papers. That's one of my favorite things about scrapbooking, is getting to pick the papers out, and I think that's a lot of fun. So I did in the end decide to go with the stripe, and I love that I was able to bring the color to the edge of the layout. And I am trimming around all 4 sides of the background paper just because it was heavily distressed on the edges, and I thought if I just cut a 1/2 inch off of 2 sides, it would kind of look a little strange. So I did trim off a 1/4 inch all the way around. I'm also going to gut the inside of that stripe paper because it was too cute to waste. And I used my Creative Memories paper trimmer to do that. And that paper trimmer is awesome. It's got a guide on the side that you can use to actually tell where the blade is going to stop on your paper. I also did that trick right there where I found the middle of that banner and I cut up into the paper with the paper trimmer, and so I was right in the center, and then I just cut with my scissors on either side. I saw somebody do that in a video recently and I thought that was an awesome idea. So I'm just going to add a tag here to the top of the layout just like they had in the sketch. And these tags are from the Happy Go Lucky collection from Fancy Pants. And I decided to go with the tag that had the red border. Now I did kind of step away. This is the next day. I decided to follow the sketch and do some journaling on this layout, and I wanted to type it, so I did actually type it into Word and created this journaling card. Now I knew that the banner was going to go across the side of that, and so I made the journaling go around that area so that when I put the banner and layered it on top of my journaling, it wouldn't cover up any of the typing there. And I thought that worked out really well. I only had to do it once, and I got it to where it actually worked. So I was really happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start gluing all this down, and I'm going to tilt that plaid paper behind the photo, and then the star paper is going to go even straight up and down with the layout. And I think the only paper here that is tilted was the plaid paper. Everything else was straight up and down. Well, at least I thought it was, until I went back to edit this video and I realized that it was crooked. So I had to kind of take my layout apart and just straighten everything out, because there was lines in the background paper that were vertical, and you could really tell how crooked it was because nothing was lined up with the background. So I did have to fix that. And so when you see the close-ups at the end of this video, that's after I fix the layout. Okay, so I'm also going to add in this little quote, and I really wanted to use that. And so I tried pretty much everywhere on the layout that I could think of to see if it would fit, and it just was not working out at all. So I decided to work on a different part of the layout, and here I am trying out some paper clips that are shaped like stars, and also some wood veneer stars, because I needed it to have a star embellishment on my layout. And I did decide to use the wood veneer stars. I just thought it went better with the papers that I had selected. So now I'm going to work on my title, and at first I was thinking I would use these stickers. They are from the Echo Park Summer Bliss collection. That's a Lori Whitlock collection. And I did think that the colors match really well, but the background color of those stickers was almost exactly the same color as my background paper. So I decided to go in a different direction, and I've been having these Cork Stickers in my stash for a while. I've tried putting them into several page kits, and they never make it onto a layout. And when I was thinking about this layout and kind of the look and feel and kind of how it was coming out, I immediately thought of these Cork stickers. They're so pretty, and I thought the color and texture of these stickers really went with the look and feel of this layout, and it complemented the wood veneer that I was using with all those little wood veneer stars. So I'm still trying to figure out how to use this quote on my layout, and it just really didn't fit anywhere, so I decided that I would just go ahead and cut it up, because I thought maybe if I cut it up I would have more options for where I could put it. And so you're going to see that I just went ahead and cut each one of the lines apart, and I thought about putting it there at the bottom. I tried it out at the top, I think, as well, and I tried it there on the side, but it definitely didn't fit there. I tried it up there at the top, and then I decided to cut apart the R and the U and really trim it down and get really close to the edges of the words, and I was able to fit it down the side of the picture there. So once I figured out where the quote was going to go, I thought that the title would look really good where it was supposed to go according to the sketch, and I put it down there underneath the journaling block. And I really love the pop of color that adding the title there at the bottom gave to the layout. because it kind of balances out the picture. The picture is very heavy visually, and I think adding the title there really does give more balance. And later I'm going to be adding more things to the top part of the layout where the tag is, and that's going to create an even better balance of elements on this layout. So I'm not really sure if a lot of people know of the term visual weight. And I did take some art classes back when I was in college. And so a lot of the terminology that I use when I'm describing my layouts and my process probably comes from my days of taking art in college. But visual weight makes things appear either heavier or lighter. And some things that can contribute to visual weight are color, size, contrast, as well as shape. So for example, using a darker color has more visual weight and appears heavier than using a lighter color. And in the same way, using something larger has more visual weight than using something small. And so I often talk about whether something is balanced in my layout. And balancing the design of your layout in simple terms just means creating the same amount of visual weight so that no part of your layout looks off balance. So if your layout looks really heavy at the bottom, then you probably need to shift some things around or put something that has a heavy weight to the top. And kind of balance your layout so that when you look at the layout, your eye travels all around your layout and it doesn't just go straight to like one point on the layout. And so when I'm scrapbooking and trying to figure out the placement of different elements on my layout, I'm always considering the visual weight of each item and whether or not it adds balance to the layout. I also like to use a lot of dimension on my layout, and I did pop up the words "Are you for real?" up onto some foam tape, and I'm trying to figure out here how many of those little question marks I wanted to use. And I think I decided to use 3 of them. I think the 5 of them was just too much. So I also popped those up onto some foam tape, and I have one in each of the different colors. I did think about adding a question mark to the title, and my title is Funny Looks. And I did come up with quite a few titles before I decided on the one that I used, including Pause for Thought, So Many Funny Looks, Forever Home, Doggone Confused, Roughing It, Progress Report, Wolf a Thousand Words, and Positively Confused. And I ended up with the title Funny Looks because it fit the space in my layout and it really suited what I was going for because I wanted to document or record the story of all the funny looks that I got from all 3 dogs while Mariah was staying with us. So I'm going through these different embellishment packs looking for things to add to my layout. And I had a couple of different things there. I had an embellishment pack that was part of the Life is Rough collection. And then I also had these cut aparts. This was just pieces that I had cut out of a pattern paper that was part of the paper pad that I had. And I don't think I pulled anything from that, but I did actually pull the little dog there that I have at the top left corner of the picture, and also that little yellow flower that I put there on top of the tag. And I also had these stickers that are also from this Playful Pets collection. And going through, kind of looking at that. And then I have these Momentous stickers that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And these are really cute. They have different textures. So it has some cork stickers or some wood veneer. So I found that little cork bone, and I thought that went perfectly because it kind of matched my title. I also kind of looked through these here. These are part of the Playful Pets collection from DCWV, and a lot of those pieces there are vellum. And so I did pull out a orange vellum flower, and I thought about using a couple of the different little word tags, but I think in the end I decided not to use anything there. I did use a sticker, I think. I can't remember, but I did put something else down there at the bottom by that bone. I am using embellishments and stickers from a lot of different manufacturers and collections, and that's partly because I pulled everything from my scrap rack that I thought might go on this layout that was in my pets uh, section of my scrap rack. And so that's one of the reasons why I have so many different things here that I'm working with. I did actually find a little word saying that says wolf that has the orangey red color, and I added that on top of the tag there. And I really thought that was cool because it added that red up above the picture, and then I had the flower below the picture. Later I'm going to move that flower over, but it just goes over closer to where the journaling is. Okay, so there's where I brought in a word sticker, and I can't read that, it's so tiny, so I don't remember what it says. I really need to remember to bring my layout with me when I'm working on the computer so that I can actually see what I'm doing because on the computer screen it's sometimes kind of difficult to get some of the smaller things there and actually be able to read them. Okay, so I'm kind of moving some things around. I found a little fire hydrant that's also red, and I thought about putting that there in the middle of the layout, but it just didn't look right. And I'm going to go back to putting the little dog there and popping that up onto some foam tape. Now I did go back and look at my layout, and that little sticker that I put down there at the bottom says possum. Okay, so I really wanted to put that fire hydrant over there on the top left corner because I thought visually the weight of it really added something to the top up there, but it didn't fit. It was you know, if I would have kind of thought about that when I was building this layout, the journaling was really close to the edge there, and there really wasn't a lot of space to build a cluster over there. So I'm going to end up just putting the stars there, and I'm going to put the flower down there between the quote, the journaling and the title. I also did pop up the little fire hydrant and I added it right there at the bottom. And I created a little bit of a visual triangle with the three colors of red. So I have the red wolf at the top of the by the tag. Then I have this orangey red flower, and then over here is the fire hydrant. So it kind of creates a little visual triangle around the photo, which really draws your eye into the photo. And I thought that worked out really well, especially since I wasn't able to add the red there at the top corner of the journaling, which is what I really wanted to do. But I think that this worked out just as well. And I do love the wood veneer stars. I thought that really added a lot to the look and feel of this layout. And I decided not to add any enamel dots just because I had a lot of elements here and a lot of the stars in different sizes. So I kind of felt like I didn't really need to have anything else added to this layout. And I thought maybe it would kind of make it look cluttered if I started adding too many more little bits and pieces around. So I'm going through here now and just gluing all of this down. I'm using the, what is it called? It's not the art glitter glue, I want to call it that, but it's the Barely Art Glue. And that glue is really awesome, and it's very similar to the art glitter glue. But after using this Barely Art Glue for a few months, I really like it better, and it is less expensive. So if you're looking for some awesome glue, that's a really great one to get. So if you want more inspiration on how to use this sketch for this month's challenge, be sure to go to the scrapart-blogspot.com website and check out all of the other layouts that were created by the design team. And so that's all I have for this layout. So I hope y'all enjoyed this scrapbook process video. And if you did, please give this video a like. And if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe. I would love to have you join my channel. And if you want to stick around, I have some more close-up shots of this layout. They're photos. And at the very end, there's a short video clip of my two dogs, Bella and Lilybell. So y'all take care, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now. Hey Bella, what you doing? Are you looking at your layout? It's another one with you in there. Do you want to pose? Can you pose? You want to sit? Good girl. Yeah? Do you like it? Is it a good one? Hi Little Belle, what you doing? Okay. So you want to tell everybody hi? Can you say hi to the YouTube world? No! Yeah? Uh-huh. What else you got to say? Yeah? Oh, okay. So you want to say hi to the YouTube people? You do? Okay. Say hi. You gonna say anything, Lilybelle? Can you speak? Lilybelle, can you speak? Say woof woof. Good job, Bella. Good job, sweetie. Good job. Yeah. Wow, you got lots to say tonight. She's got lots to say, huh? You got anything to say, Miss Lilybelle? Nope, nothing to say tonight. Okay, well tell everybody bye, Bee. Say have an awesome day and goodbye. Can you say goodbye? Can you tell everybody goodbye? No? You're gonna pout because they're all leaving? It's time to say goodbye. Is it time to say goodbye? Yeah. So B says, goodbye everyone. Hope y'all have an awesome day. So you want to tell them goodbye? Okay. So she says, bye everyone. Have an awesome day and we'll see you next time.